will share the recording. We'll share the recording after the session. Um, if you have questions, please make a note of them in the chat as we go. We will obviously be talking you through quite a few bit of detail about the event. So hopefully your question will get answered as we go. But if the event it isn't, we'll try and make sure we do at the end a little bit of a Q&A to make sure we capture all the detail. I think that's probably enough preamble. So we'll get started if that's all right. And I'll hand over to Jen, who is going to happily introduce you to a little bit more detail about the event itself and what to expect on the day. Ben, you might need to unmute Jen because we've put the settings on. So
yeah, thank you. Sorry, I thought I was stuck there. I couldn't unmute myself. Hello, everybody. Yeah, so my name's Jen. I'm the event manager for the Hurly Burly. So thank you for joining us this evening. I'm going to talk through various bits of the swim. I'll share the map with you that some of you may have seen online. And then we will hand back to Andy for some questions and some information about fundraising. So the key event timings, we kick off on the Friday, the day before, which is the 11th of September, and we'll be open for registration on Friday evening in Barmouth. So Barmouth is the start of the swim. You'll be able to register on Friday evening between 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock. And from 6 o'clock, we'll have the famous chili dinner at the Yacht Club. So the Yacht Club is just around the corner from the boatyard where we will have registration. We're catering for a good number. It's £10 per person, cash only, and it's there until it's sold out. So if you are going to be with us on Friday evening, it's a really nice time to come and meet the team and also meet your fellow swimmers. And then the big day itself is on Saturday, the 12th of September. So registration opens really early in Barmouth. That's from 5:30. And then we'll do a swimmer briefing for all swimmers at 7 o'clock. So that will include information about the swim and safety points. And then after that, we will all walk down to the beach together and the swim will start at about 7:35. We've allowed half an hour here for the swim to start. It won't take that long to get all of you across the start line, but it gives us a window based on the perfect conditions on the morning to get everybody into the water. For spectators, they can watch the start and then nip over to the spectator coaches and head to the finish at 8 o'clock. So the coaches will leave then. There was an option to book spectator coaches in your profile. If you haven't done that, you will be able to pay on the day, or your spectators will. It's £10 for a return trip. It's pretty fast, the swim. We're expecting the first finisher at around 8:45 and the last swimmer to finish around 9:30. So there's a short window for finishers, and then the shuttle buses run back to Barmouth from 9:20 all the way through until 12:30. So they're the key timings. We have a map here, which some of you may have seen, which is linked through on our website. So I'm going to share the map here and just zoom in on some key points. So you can see the overview. We have Barmouth here, which is the start, and then Penman Pool at the end, which is the finish. So the yellow is the swim route. It's obviously a rough swim route. We'll talk on that in a second, but let's just zoom into Barmouth so you can see the start. So this is Barmouth Beach, and this is where you'll be starting the swim from. The yellow line is about accurate from where the swim will start. And here you can see this boatyard. This is where we will be doing registration. So for those of you who've done this before, it's exactly the same. You'll be registering in the same place. You'll just head to our level water tent and the staff there will check you in. You will all be sent a QR code to your phone on the Thursday before the swim. And all you'll need to do when you come to registration is show that QR code. The team there will scan it and then they'll give you your swim pack. You'll also be able to drop off your bag here. We'll have a couple of baggage vans parked on the road. And as you can see, this road here, the quay is closed. So we employ some traffic management on the day to close the road, really just for the safety of all of you swimmers. There'll be a lot of you milling around here. So in the morning when you're travelling in, to get to the car park, you need to follow the orange route, and that takes you down Beach Road. So you'll approach the car park from the far end here. It's a big car park, and obviously we're starting really early, so there'll be plenty of spaces. So you all need to park here at the start. There is no parking at the finish. In the car park at the far end, we'll have our portaloos. This whole section here is now a construction yard. So it will look slightly different on the day, but our portaloos will be up against the fence there. So you can use those. And then just around the corner here, there's a cafe called the Lobster Pot. That will be open for coffees and breakfasts in the morning. I guess as swimmers, you may not want to eat straight before the swim, but for your spectators, they can pop over there, grab a nice coffee, grab some food, and then watch the start. This corner here is a really nice place to watch the start from if they're not heading down to the beach. This is where the spectator coaches will pick up from. So it's outside the RNLI building at 8 o'clock. I think that's it for the start. Obviously then you will swim all the way to Penman Pool, a beautiful 10k swim, and you'll finish on this little private beach just here. So we use the George III pub as our base, and our event village is in their car park. So it's only a short walk from the finish to the car park, which is where you'll be able to collect your bag, you'll be able to get changed, warm up, you'll grab a hot chocolate on your way in, and then you can meet your spectators. There are more swimmers than last year, and last year it was quite busy. So this year we will not be allowing spectators into the facilities area here in the car park. So you will be able to see your spectator as you finish. Spectators can line up here, they can watch you finish the swim. You'll grab your hot chocolate, head into baggage, and then you can meet your your spectators at the far end of the car park here. So we'll have our fundraising tent. There'll be staff from Level Water there. We'll have fire pits you can warm up, and the pub is open for food. So once you've got your bag, got changed, just head out here at the far end of the car park. You can reunite with your spectators, grab some food, and then make your way to the buses. So the buses will pick up from over here on the main road, and we'll have a member of staff managing that. So that's the overview. The pink line here is a walking route. And for those of you who still have a little bit of energy afterwards, you could take this walk all the way back to Barmouth. It's a really beautiful walk. It's about 12 kilometres, about 7.5 miles. So it'll take 2.5, 3 hours, depending on how much energy you've got left. But that is an option for you afterwards. If not, then the coaches will head back, as mentioned before. So I'm going to go back to the slideshow. And we'll just pick up on some of the points of a bit more information. So I just really want to reiterate that there is no parking at the finish. All swimmers must park or be dropped off in Barmouth. There's plenty of car parking spaces. There's 550 spaces in the main car park. It is pay and display, so don't forget to do that. And just remember that the quay is closed, so you need to access it down Beach Road. Your spectators could drop you off, or if your spectators are staying, they'll need to park in Barmouth too. And then, as mentioned, they can take the spectator coach to the finish to meet you there. Then you can all travel back together. The trip takes about half an hour, but we have 5 coaches that will be doing the trip. So they'll be running roughly every 10 minutes. And again, no parking at the finish. Coaches will be leaving to return back to Barmouth between 9:20 and 12:30. So before the swim, as I mentioned, you can collect your race pack on the Friday. That's open between 5 and 7 p.m. Or if you're not in Barmouth on Friday evening, you can do it on the morning of the swim. We would encourage you to do it on the evening before if you're there. It would just save you some time in the morning. You can have another 5 minutes lie-in. Don't have to be up quite so early. And it will help us manage the queues as well on the Saturday morning. When you get your race pack, you will get a wristband, which you have to wear on your wrist, an ankle strap, which you have to wear on your ankle. Just saying that because it is amazing how some people do get it wrong. You'll get a baggage tag to put on your bag, and you'll get your swim cap. So you'll have everything you need. The team will also write your swimmer number on your hand. So if you collect on Friday, they'll do it on the Friday. If it washes off, you can have it redone on the Saturday. That is not a problem. We've got a good team of volunteers who'll be doing this on Friday and Saturday. Some nice friendly faces for you to meet. So as mentioned, you can join us at the Yacht Club on Friday night for dinner. We will be there once registration is closed, but it does open from 6 o'clock. So once you've registered, head around there, take your cash, £10 per person. There's meat chilli, veggie chilli, and you'll get to meet fellow swimmers and some staff as well. The briefing takes place around 7 o'clock. That's the full briefing for all the swimmers. We would encourage you to drop your bag before then. The baggage vans will be parked out on the road, so you can get to those, drop off your bag, make sure you're ready for the swim. Just double check you haven't left anything in your bag that you need for the swim before you drop it off. And then you can all walk to the start together. The bag vans will then travel to the finish where you can collect your bag. So the swim itself, a note on skin swimmers. Ben and I have been working through the skin swimmer applications, and everybody should know or will know soon if they've been approved. For those of you who have been approved as a skin swimmer, you have to wear a toe float. So this is a new rule this year with our swim safety team. You must wear a toe float. You must wear your skin's wristband, which will be given to you at registration. And if you don't have those two things, you will not be allowed to go into the water without a full-length wetsuit. So we're really strict on this because it is a safety thing at the end of the day. And that's our biggest concern here. So there are no skins applications on the day, so we can manage this well. If you do have any questions about skins, whether you've applied or not, or you've been approved or not, then you can get in touch. But hopefully everybody who does want to swim skins has applied now. The start is on Barmouth Beach. Like I mentioned before, we've got a half-an-hour window to start. We will ask the slower swimmers to go first. This is because we need to make sure there's enough water for everybody. And slower swimmers first, faster swimmers last allows us to make sure that the conditions are perfect for everybody out there. So when you leave the beach, you will head directly out. Seems counterintuitive, you're sort of heading in the wrong direction, but we want you to get out into the deep channel. So you head out, keep looking up, sight early, and then you'll take a left and you'll head through the bridge. So we've got really good water safety cover. They'll be out there. Please do follow their directions. It is shallow in places, so it might seem strange if they're directing you one way and you think you should be going a different way, but they will be directing you into the channel. There will be times when you might be able to stand up, but just go with it. Water safety are there if you have any concerns, but they know the water like the back of their hand, so they are the ones to follow. They're also there if you need any help on the water. If you need help, all you need to do is roll onto your back and put your arm up, and they'll be out with you in seconds. They'll see what you need. If needed, they can leapfrog you down the water. They could retire you from the race, or you could just have a rest on their paddleboard. But they're there to help you. So they'll direct you all the way down the river, and then you'll get to the end. We're going to put a couple of buoys out so you can see these. So when you see the buoys, they act as lines of sight for you. And there'll be one on the bank. So at the very last section of the water, when you look towards the bank, you'll see a big yellow triangular level water buoy, and that's what you'll head towards. Once you've seen that, we'll have some staff and some volunteers there to help pull you out. It is very fast at the end, so just be prepared. They'll help you exit the water. Do use their help. And then once you're out of the water, keep on walking. So you'll see Ben at the end. He's managing our finish funnels. You must pass through those. This is really important for us for health and safety reasons. So to keep track of everybody, we use our timing straps, which are your ankle straps. But as a backup, we will remove your wristbands. So please do pass through the funnels and let the volunteers remove your wristband. Once you've gone through there, you can remove your ankle strap. We need to return those to the supplier. And then you're free to exit the finish area, collect your souvenir mug, which will be filled with hot chocolate, and then you can head back to the event village. Once you're in the event village, this is where you'll be able to collect your bag. All you need to do is identify your bag, and then as you're leaving the area, show the volunteers your bag tag and your hand number, and they'll let you move through into the changing area. So the changing area will be heated. We've got heaters in there. Obviously, we don't know what the weather will be like. It could be a beautiful summer's day. It could be really cold and rainy. But we've got heaters there to help you warm up after the swim. And we also have a large re-warming tent. So for those of you who are particularly cold afterwards and just need some time to sit down and warm up, you can sit you can sit in the re-warming section of the tent until you feel ready to leave the tent and meet your spectators. So like I mentioned, that this area is for swimmers only. We're aware that it's going to be very busy. So we will have to say this year that there are no spectators in the baggage and changing areas. But once you've left that area, there's a fire pit, there's some seating, and then there's the pub. So you can head to the pub. They'll be serving breakfast rolls and soups. You can have a meal there, and then you can head back to the coaches. So wellbeing and water safety, I did already touch on this, but if you do need to ask for help at any point when you're out on the water, it's really easy to do so, and the safety cover is numerous. So there's loads of people out there who will spot you. All you need to do is turn onto your back and put your hand up, and then water safety will come over and see how they can help you. For those of you who've got access needs, Ben will have been in touch. It's a question we ask in the registration form. So Ben has been in touch with anybody who's listed something there. If for any reason you need to get in touch with us or you have any questions, then there's the email address. You can email us on swim@levelwater.org and we'll pick that up with you. Sickness. I know it's really hard after all the training that you're all doing, but if you are sick, have a stomach bug, not feeling well, please don't attend. I know that's really hard, but we don't want anybody else to get sick. We do have hand washing stations and hand sanitizer all over the place, but please just do bear that in mind. Likewise, with a heart condition, if you have been diagnosed with any kind of heart condition since buying your ticket, please don't swim without consulting your doctor. And if you have any questions about that, then do get in touch with us. I think this may be the last slide for me for now, but volunteers. So we really can't run these events without volunteers. If you've done any of our other events or this one before, I'm sure you'll remember the volunteers that you've come across. They are a huge, huge help to us. They do so many different jobs, and we really can't do without them. So we're looking a bit short on volunteers at the moment. So if you do have any friends or family, anyone that's coming down to support you who might like to help, then we'd be very grateful for them. We only ask for a few hours. It's not a huge commitment. It's really fun. They'll have a great time and they'll make new friends. So please do get in touch. In return, they get a beautiful free gift and they'll get priority entry for 2027, which I feel, just check, but I think they can gift that to somebody else. Obviously, they'll also meet a wonderful team of people and they'll help us support a really successful river swim. Brilliant. Okay, I know I raced through that, and I'm sure Ben has been answering questions in the background, but I'll pass back over to Andy and then we can go through any questions that you have.
Thanks, Jen. And yes, just to kind of add to what Jen was just saying there about volunteer priority entry, that is absolutely worth its weight in gold. The Hurly Burly for this year sold out in minutes. It's the first time we've sold it out that quickly. So actually, for anybody who wants to guarantee their space for 2027, a volunteer priority entry could be incredibly valuable as a way to secure your spot for next year. So want to make sure that we mention that. So yeah, as I mentioned, my name's Andy. I'm fundraising director here at Level Water. So in many ways, I have the very best job because this evening I get to talk about actually the impact of your swimming and what your swimming really means to us at Level Water. So yeah, thank you ever so much for joining us and being part of things this evening. Yeah, you're part of something really very powerful here. Hurly Burly, it's not just a swim. You know, it's going to be an unforgettable experience that brings together a community of like-minded individuals for something far bigger than just swimming. So whether you've got a charity ticket or a general entry ticket, every single stroke you take funds one-to-one swimming lessons for children with disabilities, and you're directly opening up a lifetime of freedom, confidence, and joy in the water. In fact, I this afternoon have been to one of our pools and met one of our swimmers, and I can honestly tell you it's one of the most life-affirming, positive experiences that you can hope to have. So this particular iconic event is rapidly becoming one of the must-do swim events in the calendar. And this year we're expecting to raise an incredible £120,000 from this event alone. So for context, that's going to fund about 8,000 swimming lessons for disabled children in your communities. Ian, who you'll meet on the day, is our founder and chief exec, and he started Level Water in 2012 in one pool in Putney. Now, 14 years later, thanks to people like you, we have over 1,500 children swimming every week at over 250 pools around the country, including a pool very near to you. But for all of our incredible rapid growth, demand for our service has never been higher, and there's lots left for us to do. So currently, our waiting list is around about 8,500 children, and every week it grows. Of the kids on our waiting list, roughly 4 out of 5 of them won't meet physical activity guidelines, and nearly half of those have tried to access lessons and been unsuccessful 3 or more times. So if you are a young person with a disability who wants to learn to swim, it's very difficult to do that without the support of somebody like Level Water. Mainstream group lessons really very often don't meet the needs of disabled children, and private one-to-one sessions can be expensive or frankly just not available in your area. As the parent of a disabled child myself, like I've been through that process and tried and failed to get access to swimming lessons that were affordable and accessible for our little boy. But with your help, we are building a future together where every child gets an equal opportunity to play, move, and grow through swimming. So we're really at the kind of crunch period. We're in the next couple of weeks is really where your fundraising starts to really take off. We always basically start to see a very big spike in donations around this period. So if you are fundraising, now's really the time to get your asks out there and tell your friends and family what you're up to. Tell them how the training's going. Perhaps share a little video, even if you're not feeling super confident about making a video. In fact, perhaps especially if you're not, because I think it makes it feel really authentic that way. Really doesn't have to be polished. Just speak from the heart. Tell people what you're doing or why you're doing it, and people will respond. And if you're really not sure where to start, WhatsApp can be just a brilliant fundraising tool. It's personal, it's easy. And once you've written one message and sent it to a handful of people, you'd be amazed at how far you can get. Another tip from us from the fundraising team at Level Water is just to make sure that you keep your Just Giving page up to date. So a quick post or a thank you message to your supporters can really help keep that momentum going. And if you are one of those exceptionally wonderful human beings who've already hit your fundraising target, don't be afraid to reset that target and set it a little bit higher again so that people know that there's still a little bit more to do. Many of our swimmers really find the more they share, the more they communicate, the more the fundraising comes in. So please keep it going. And of course, it's not all down to you. We've got lots of stuff you can use. Videos, photos, stories, even like Instagram-friendly reels that we filmed at pools. They're all in the fundraising hub, and they're all there for you to use when you're telling people why your swim matters. If you haven't had your first donation yet, one great way to start is by self-donating the first £15 to your fundraising page. £15 is what it costs Level Water to deliver a one-to-one swimming lesson. It shows people you're in, shows people you believe in it, and it often encourages people to follow your lead. And the best bit is our lovely friends and sponsors, Vivo Barefoot, will match your first £15 donation. So just like that, you'll have funded 2 life-changing swimming lessons. Alongside all of our amazing friends and partners, we've got some wonderful fundraising prizes lined up this season. So we really recognise that it's a big thing that we ask you to do, to raise money to support our work. And we want to make it rewarding. We want to make it fun. And so our friends and sponsors have donated some incredible prizes for our fundraisers. So there's a red paddleboard for our overall top fundraiser from our river swims. We've got dry bags from Red as well for when our fundraisers, when you hit so for anyone who raises over £400, a free Red dry bag could be yours. Swim Trek have donated us another holiday. Zone 3 have donated us wetsuits. Vivo Barefoot have donating us shoes. the list goes on. Free coaching from our training friends at Catch Swim. So we've got some really fabulous prizes. So there's lots and lots of incentives, hopefully, to kind of keep it going, because we want to thank you as much as we can too, and so do they. And of course, I think kind of bring it all together. I'd just like to finish with a bit of a story, and I'd like to tell you about a very special young man by the name of Suvir. Suvir is 9, and he lives with a rare muscle wasting condition called muscular dystrophy that gradually weakens his muscles over time. However, in the water, something really incredible happens. Suvir just lights up, and you can see that in his whole body. His mum, Tanvi, found out about level water, and she wanted him to have a space where he could move, build strength, but really just be a child free from limits and constraints. So we paired Suvir with one of our teachers, Emma, who designs every session just for him. 50% swimming lesson, 50% physio, 100% joy. And the bond between them, Emma and Suvir, is incredible. He's laughing, confident, playful. And after his lessons, his mum told us that friends who haven't seen him for a while can actually visibly see the difference in him and his confidence and the way he carries himself. For this family outside of the pool, life can be pretty challenging. Tanvir's mum is preparing to become his full-time carer. They're currently searching for an accessible school, and they're looking for ways that they can adapt their home to support him in the future. But in the water, for just that 30 minutes every week, that all disappears, that all fades away. He's not defined by what he can't do. He's free. Tanvi said if she could, she'd build a pool in their back garden just to keep giving him that joy every day. And frankly, that's the power of what you're doing. That's what your fundraising gives families like Suvir's: joy, freedom, and hope. So from all of us at Level Water, thank you. We truly mean it. We can put a numerical value on your fundraising, and we can tell you how much is raised, and we can tell you how many lessons it's funded, and we can tell you that, but fundamentally, to the families that we work with, it's absolutely priceless. So we'll see you all in a couple of weeks. We can't wait. Okay. Now it's time. It's over to you guys for your questions. I'm going to have a look over to my other screen in the chat, and we'll pull a few bits. I can see, Ben, you've been very busy answering everyone's questions as we go. We've got a question from Alan. Do the safety people carry anything to support swimmers if needed, i.e. gels/water if they're struggling so they can carry on? So what do we provide?
Yeah, they will have some water with them, but they won't have any gels or energy products or that kind of thing, just because that is quite a personal thing. You can bring that with you. Just tuck it into your wetsuit if you think you'll need it. But yeah, if you do need a little drink on the way, they'll have water.
Great, thank you. I'm going to answer a couple of questions. I'm going to pick out a couple of questions that have been answered in the chat already, just so that we can kind of give everybody the benefit of the answers. That's okay, guys. So Gwen would like to know how she can fundraise even though she doesn't have she's got a general entry place. Gwen, that's a perfect question. Thank you so much for thinking of us. Pop us an email at fundraise@levelwater.org, and we'll be delighted to help you get set up with a fundraising page. But you can also just head to justgiving.com and create a fundraising page, and we'll get that set up for you. Do swimmers need a tow float if wearing a wetsuit?
No, they don't. So we only ask our skin swimmers to wear a tow float. If you do need to carry medication with you, then you're welcome to bring a tow float. But without that need, no, absolutely, you don't need to have a tow float if you're wearing a wetsuit.
Lindsay would like to know what size bag is okay to bring. Do we have any limits on sizing for bags?
Yeah, just reiterating what Ben said there, that we do ask you to keep it light. So if you're going away for the weekend, it's not the place to be dropping off your suitcase, but a light backpack is absolutely fine. We do have to make sure we've got space for all the swimmers. in the van. So small light bags really do help us out.
There's a question here from Louise, which we've answered, but I'll just expand if that's okay. So Louise asked us if we'll have a photographer there on the day taking photos. The answer is absolutely we will. And we'll be very excited to share as many of the pictures from the event as we can with you all in the event report, which will probably come out sort of a week or so after the event itself. So there'll be an opportunity to hopefully see yourself in the images captured on the day. Do we have an estimate on the expected water temperature? That's from Andy.
That's a very good question and not some information I have at the moment, but we will see what we can do. And if we are able to get that information, then we will obviously share it with everybody so that you're aware.
Fabulous. Cheryl's got a couple of questions. What do we recommend as a warm-up for our swimmers? And can we suggest any goggles for sea swimmers?
I feel like that might be one for the Facebook group. That's where you'll meet your fellow like-minded swimmers. I shouldn't admit it, but I'm not an avid open water river swimmer. So I'm not going to be the best person to advise you on that one. But do join the Facebook group if you haven't already. And you can ask questions like that in there. There's loads of people in there who've got loads of experience, who've done it before, and can send their recommendations for you.
Right. So I'm just scanning through the questions.
There was one earlier from Julia, which I think was quite a good one to bring up. It was about the walk back. She was asking about baggage, whether we would take them back to Barmouth if they didn't want to take them with them on the walk.
Will bags be returned to Barmouth if we walk back after the swim?
Yeah, I would say don't rely on that. We might be able to help you out, but we will be packing down and we will be pretty busy loading up our vans. So we would much rather you take your bags with you. If there's stuff in there that you don't need at all, then do leave that in Barmouth in the morning. If you've got a car, put it in there. But we would ask you to take your bags back with you, just so you've got those. I'm not sure what time we would be back in Barmouth after the event because we'll be busy packing it all away.
There was, thanks for that, very helpful. There was another one from someone asking whether they could, someone else could register on their behalf if they transferred their QR code to them for the swim. Edward?
No, as a swimmer, you would need to come to registration yourself. We obviously like to meet you, and we need to hand number you as well. So if you're asking that just as a case of saving time, and you're worried about the Saturday morning, then don't worry. We've got 5 stations. We'll have loads of volunteers checking everybody in, but we do ask the swimmers to come and register themselves.
And just a last one from Stuart. He says, is there a deadline for people to finish? Have you pulled slower swimmers out in the previous years?
There's not a cut-off time as such. The water safety team will be keeping their eye on it, and if needed, they can move you up the water. I'm not aware of that happening before. I'm not aware of anybody needing to be pulled out in previous years. The water does move pretty fast, so you'll be moving quickly, and you'll have nice assistance behind you.
Fabulous. Was there any other questions from the community? This now would be a great time to pop them in the chat. I think we've answered everything that's been asked so far, but we do have a bit of time in the session. So if there is any other last questions, we'll just give you a moment just to kind of pop them in. Oh, this is a fun one. I don't know if we know the answer to this one. Katie asks, do we know what the equivalent distance is given the push of the water? So accounting for the speed of the water, what does that do to our distance? Obviously, it's a 10K swim, but what does the speed of the distance actually do? The speed of the push actually do to the distance-ish? Kind of give it a benchmark.
Yeah, that is a very good question. I don't know. I'm just having a little look at the results from last year. just to tell you the fastest. Last year, the fastest swimmer completed it in 1 hour 12. So you can see how fast it is. That's pretty speedy time to be swimming a 10K. And the final swimmers were coming in about 1 hour 40, 1 hour 45. So if any of you are good with quick maths, there you go. Yeah, you can tell from those times it is a fast swim.
Absolutely. Great question, Katie. That's a good challenge for us to go away and do the conversions with the pen and paper and a calculator, perhaps.
We've got a flood of questions now.
Yeah, that's great. Perfect. Is the swim choppy?
Yeah, I think it can be choppy. I have to say, I haven't been there before for the swim. Ben was there last year, so might have a better idea, but I think it could potentially be choppy, but obviously it's not going to be unsafe choppy.
Yeah, it can be choppy. The main thing is just being confident in choppier, windier conditions and being confident with your lane changes. The swim safety team will notify you when to move channels. You need to be confident in putting in a few strong strokes to shift yourself across at any given time. It's not necessarily about the speed; it's more about your experience in tougher conditions. Louise, the swim hat is green, very bright green. It's a lovely colour. Yes, the water is brackish at the start. Moving into fresh water as you go from the sea, you get a mixture of fresh and salt water up the river. Kay, you will have your bag tags with you. You have your bag tags around your wrist. It will be given to you along in your race pack when you register. So you get out and flash your wrist at our baggage crew and you'll get your bag.
Just to clarify on that one, in your race pack you get essentially two wristbands. One will be labelled baggage tag, and that's the one you attach to your bag before you give it to us at Barmouth to go in our van. The other one just has your number on, so you wear that one on your wrist. At the finish, like I mentioned earlier, they will cut off your wristband. So the way that we will identify you is by your hand number. So when you go to the baggage collection tent to get your bag, that's where your baggage band will be attached to your bag, and we will match that to your hand number to make sure it's your bag.
I think one final question from Stuart. Do the people staying locally tend to meet anywhere on Saturday evening or afternoon for Barmouth? Is there a bit of a post-swim social that we know of in Barmouth, guys?
I don't know if there's an official post-swim social. It might be something, again, that's made in the Facebook page, but I know definitely that there'll be a lot of swimmers around. From previous years, I've heard that everybody's bumping into each other in the pubs in the evening, and it is a really nice social evening if you are staying in Barmouth on Saturday night.
Yeah, keep a close eye out for the Level Water team celebrating the end of another successful event, I think is a reasonable guess. And one final question from Cheryl. What would you eat before the swim? I suspect the answer to that might be whatever you will usually eat before a long swim would be that. So generally, don't try anything brand new and exotic on the day of the event. But if you are looking for things to try, things to experiment with in the lead up over the next couple of weeks, maybe the Facebook group is a great place to get some advice from some of your other experienced swimmers in the community. Louise has chipped in with a very helpful suggestion of crumpets and manuka honey, which sounds like a pretty pleasant way to start the day. Wonderful. Well, if there are no other questions, I think that pretty much brings us to an end this evening. We really can't wait to see you guys in just 2.5 weeks' time now, which is not very long to go. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. We really can't wait. From everybody at Level Water, thank you again for the training, for the fundraising, for being part of a pretty special event. We will see you in Barmouth, and we can't wait.